Hello everybody and welcome to Bright Weird. Very quick video with some thoughts about the Great Moon Conspiracy. And it seems that there's only two ways of thinking. You're not allowed to have any other thoughts. It's like a forced narrative. And those two ways of thinking are, one, that they went to the moon in 1969, and two, they didn't go to the moon at all. They faked the whole thing to prove that they were better than the Russians, who were so far ahead of them in the space race. Now, to me, I don't consider either of those because I think there's other questions that you should be asking. And the other questions you should be asking are, who started the rumour that they never went to the moon and why? Because if you answer those two questions, you'll get to the bottom of the Great Moon Conspiracy. And the answer to those questions seems quite simple. Of course they went to the moon in 1969. They definitely did that. Everybody saw it happen. But in the process of doing it, they spent a disgusting amount of money, blood and treasure beyond measure, and they showed the entire world how you get to the moon. And they got up there and came back and then suddenly realised, actually, everyone's going to be coming up there now and ruining the party. How do we keep the moon to ourselves? How do we prevent people from coming up there? Well, it's simple, sir. We just spread the rumour we never went in the first place. Who's going to spend blood and treasure in a foreign government if there's a doubt that we never went? And I think that's actually what happened. I think somebody in the American intelligence network came up with the idea to spread the rumour that the Americans never went to the moon in the first place. And you know what? That makes sense. Because when you start looking into the moon conspiracy, the one about where they never went at all, there's some really dodgy photographs. There's some really dodgy footage. And there's a lot of questions and things thrown in there that don't really have an answer. Unless, of course, it's the very same Americans who spread the rumour they never went in the first place, because they're the ones who had access to the footage. They're the ones who could have slipped dodgy photographs into the archive that has fueled all of the conspiracy theories that have gone on over the years. And through lies and cheating and intelligence tactics, they've had an entire celestial body to themselves for the last 50 years. But now the party's over. Everybody's looking at going back up there again. China is a new superpower and they're looking at coming up and joining them. And it seems to me that we're all promised that we're going to the moon in 3 years or 5 years' time. And then 20 years later, we still haven't even launched. I know, that's an even bigger conspiracy than the original one. But just look at where we are for a moment. The Americans have retired the space shuttle without a replacement. They've retired aircraft such as the SR-71 Blackbird, allegedly without a replacement. They've got a new branch of the armed forces called the Space Force, allegedly with no spacecraft. That's like having a Coast Guard with no ships. And they've got form in America for being exceptionally good at taking black projects, secret projects, and keeping them secret. I don't know, it's a difficult subject, it really is. But look, I just think they went to the moon in 1969 and they didn't stop going. What do you think? Something else I wanted to add as well is that technology that hits the public domain has generally been in military circles for at least 30 years. And back in 2005, a company called Reaction Engines released to the world their synergetic air-breathing rocket engine, or Sabre. And that is a technology that enables you to have a single stage to orbit spaceplane, take off from a runway, go into space, turn around and come back again. No need to launch like the space shuttle. So an incredible technology. And like I say, that hit the public domain. That was released to the world in 2005. So you can bet your bottom dollar that the military had that a long time before. Maybe they had it in the mid to late 70s and used it to get into Earth orbit and then refuel and go onto the moon. I really don't know. There's a lot of speculation in this video and it's probably a bigger conspiracy than the one I was trying to get rid of in the first place. But it's all food for thought. And I'll be interested to see what you've got to say in the comments. Look forward to hearing from the trolls. We always do. I'm Steve. This is Bright Weird. Thanks for watching.